Welcome to a busted play. An illegal use of hands to the face short.
Jake, where will the Washington football team's offense rank this season in up against the rest of the NFL?
I mean, when you look at the Washington football team's offense, um, the first thing you notice is just the amount of young talent that is on that offense. The wide receiver room is just young as heck, and just to the gills full of guys that are either very athletically gifted or have great physical attributes. Physical attributes being Antonio Gandy Golden. I know that he didn't get a lot of playing time last season, but he is like a physical specimen. At least that's what I thought of him coming out in the draft last year. Uh, for running backs, they bring in Jarrett Patterson, who was undrafted free agent out of Buffalo. Just have to mention that because he went to Buffalo. Um, but he's solid. They have Antonio Gibson, who is a stud. He came into his own last season, and still the running back depth on that team was great. Their O line is solid too. I think the ranking is going to really depend on who is the starting quarterback for them and how well they play. Because if it's Heineke, number one. If it's Heineke and he plays playoff Heineke football the whole season, it's number one. If it's Fitzpatrick and he plays like Fitzmagic, it's number one. If he's Fitztragic though, I think it can still be a middle of the road offense. Saying that they're number one is obviously hyperbole. They can be a top offense in the NFL though. Just they don't have any of the real standout names there that would have people talking about them. It's kind of like the Colts defense of just these there's really solid guys here, but I don't know any of their names.
I think they're set up to do pretty well. I will start with the offensive line. I don't think that's a weak spot for them. I think I look at the O line and I'm happy with what they've got all around there. And I feel like young running back wise, Antonio Gibson is a great number one. Now, then we have a guy in Lamar Miller who's now in the backfield who's kind of like he's missed recent years, but when he plays pretty well. That gives them a nice 1 and 2 if Lamar Miller can get on the field at all. That could be up in the air, but even other guys like J.D. McKissick have still been pretty productive for them. So I think the run game will be okay. On top of that, I feel like they have 4 receivers now that I'm actually kind of confident in. Last year it was only Terry McLaurin, and now it's Terry McLaurin, good. De'Ami Brown, love. Um, Actually, I love Terry McLaurin too. It's just that he was the only one. De'Ami Brown and Terry McLaurin, love both of them. Adam Humphries is amazing out of the slot, and I think he can still do work for them there. And then Curtis Samuel is an awesome wide receiver to have for them, especially because they're one of the few teams that really does kind of have a weaker running back room, I would say, especially after their number one guy goes down if Antonio Gibson can't play for any reason. But he gives them that option now that they have like other guys who actually seem like they can be pass catchers where he could step into the running back role if you really needed him to. Logan Thomas has at least been like competent at tight end. That's the only position that I'd really say I worry about with this team. And we've seen good stuff
Mm-hmm.
from Ryan Fitzpatrick before. And if Taylor Heineke gets in the game uh, and plays like he did in the playoff, it's going to be absolutely tremendous what that offense
Mm-hmm.
is able to do. Because now he's got a lot of stuff around him to help him just get a good run game going. And then you have, like I said, like 4 wide receivers who I believe are solid pass catchers. Where in that playoff game, their offense was moving the ball, and the only times it wasn't moving the ball wasn't because of Heineke's quarterback play. It was because receivers were dropping wide open passes. It was like the
Mm-hmm.
worst game in all of the playoffs in terms of dropped passes, and it was all just like, oh gosh, they need some receivers. And it looks like this offseason, they added a decent amount to be able to say, hey, now we can catch the ball. I think this team's a real threat in the NFC East especially, and
Oh
maybe
yeah.
even into the playoffs. I'd just like to see them be able to have one of those quarterbacks take the reins early in the season, whether that's Fitzpatrick or Heineke, and hold on to them so they don't get too mixed up at the quarterback position. The problem is if you go with Fitzpatrick, we know how that usually plays out, and it can lead to some pretty nasty circumstances in terms of like him having 2 great weeks and then an awful week, and then a great week and then an awful week. So, yeah, that's what I think about it. But in terms of where I think they rank, if they get solid quarterback play, I think they could be like top 10 offense. I really like what they started putting together there. Not too far higher than that, but they could make it top 10.
You said a problem in the NFC East, and that's like their defense already makes them competing to win that division. And I think the floor for their offense is average. And if you have an average offense with that defense, you're going to make the playoffs. But that's the floor for that offense is average. They can do a lot more with that. And I have a lot of faith in Scary Terry. The other guys, if the organization, if they want Ryan Fitzpatrick to be a starting quarterback, you need guys to just be able to go up and get it because he just throws caution to the wind and chucks some balls up in double, triple coverage.
You haven't watched enough Dyami Brown.
Oh yeah, I know. They need to have faith in those guys though, and getting a guy like Dyami Brown, who in college did make catches in double and triple coverages, that's going to help with Ryan Fitzpatrick's habits that he's had in his almost 2 decades in the NFL of just throw it up here. Let's just throw it up here.
Well, listen, if the guys he's throwing it up to are Terry and Brown, I'd be pretty confident in my receiver's abilities to win those jump balls. Now, if he starts throwing those to Logan Thomas or Adam Humphries a little too much, not letting, Logan Thomas can get open, Adam Humphries can get open, but neither, even though they're like the exact opposite builds, neither are guys that I'm in love with going up for jump balls. So, yeah.
I'm just waiting for some point, like week 5. Adam Humphries is just running like a clear out.
Wait.
Wait.
Hang on. Week 5. We're not watching any games except for there's that one. That was week 5, right? The game that we said is going to be the game of the year, like Chargers Patriots. Isn't that week 5?
Maybe.
Sorry,
but I'm just hypothetical here, like, because week 5 usually that's when Fitzpatrick starts to come back down to earth after starting off on fire. But just I could see Humphries running like a clear out. They're like, just get some space for Dyami Brown here, and it just the safety of the corner right on him, and Fitzpatrick is like, this is gonna be like a 60-yard gain if he catches it. Just throws it up to him.
If he catches it, gotta love that mindset. All right, so where's your number? Are you gonna put a guess in your rank for where they're off?
Top 12. Top 12.
Wow. Okay, man. This team may be pretty good then if they actually get that high, and like we said, with the defense already being what it is, I feel like in terms of an overall team, they've definitely got the best overall roster in the NFC East. The Cowboys could compete purely because of offense, but roster-wise, definitely feel like they've got the best roster, right?
Yeah. That they're going to be a very fun team to talk about when they come up. Soon, right? Soon. We're almost done with all the non-playoff teams.
And we're getting pretty close there. So we'll talk about them again.
They're going to be a fun team to go in depth on.
All right, all set?
Yeah, I think we can cut this here.